let's get into the good, the good, the bad, and the ugly of the weekend. What was Ollie? What was your good, bad, and the ugly?
For me, my good is Liverpool. I thought that opening 45 minutes it was all Liverpool. It was bleak to see a bit of a lull in the game in the second half. Definitely, both teams not wanting to drop points. I think the weather also played a factor. Liverpool had a lot of opportunities that they couldn't capitalize on, but seeing them create those opportunities for me was great. Playing with a new formation, like Klopp said, they picked this 4-4-2 formation. He said to change the formation against City and come away with the points, not drop points and create opportunities that you just weren't able to finish up on is a really positive sign. I just think Liverpool just looks so calm and collected. They know what they're doing, and for all the defensive woes, I mean, Gomez was solid. He's had four different defenders play next to him in the last 5 matches. Matip's back. He was solid. Their attack fired. The only concern for me was where Jota fits in as a starting option with Firmino, with Mane, and with Salah. I don't know if that was necessarily the best choice, because he looked like he was caught between a finishing role and a creative role, and he wasn't finding Salah, but he also wasn't making space for himself. So for me, it's got to be Firmino to start, Jota coming off the bench, or vice versa. But I think you need to be rotating those guys, not having them play at the same time. But I liked the fact that when I looked on Twitter afterwards, Liverpool's caption was not like 1-1 draw to Manchester City. It was, we leave Manchester with a point, which I think speaks volumes of their sort of attitude of, the goal is to be winning and drawing. We're not going to be losing, but they're playing entertaining football. They're not just parking. They're still looking for opportunities and creating opportunities. That being said, I was enjoying Leeds' football at the start of the season. I'm not anymore. I think that's sort of been a bit of a reality check. But why it was bad for me was I thought a 4-1 loss is a bit unbecoming of a side run by Bielsa. I expected more from them. Expected them to front a bit more than 4-1. Like Shakes, you mentioned in the previous video, if that Bamford goal had been allowed, maybe it would have been different. But I always find that disappointing when teams drop their head based on something like that. Which brings me to my ugly, which is Arsenal. It was ugly because it made the end to my Sunday bets ugly with the accumulator that I should have cashed out. But for me, that game was lost at 43 seconds when Jack Grealish scored that first goal, which was then disallowed, and it shouldn't have been disallowed, I don't think. But for me, you take as a team, if you concede in the first 43 seconds and it's disallowed, it's like, okay, now we've come to play. And they just didn't come to play. There was nothing for the next sort of 30 minutes. Then they're 1-0 down, and after that 1-0 down, I was like, this could be 4-0. I don't know. I thought like Arteta's really building something nice there. Their style of play is nice, but they're just not scoring. Aubameyang not even getting an opportunity to take a shot. Not what I expected from Arsenal.
Okay, thanks all. Shakes, you?
Yeah, no, that was not easy listening to all of that, but Oliver's right with everything that he said. He's definitely right. So, funny enough, I'm going to go with a bit of a mix-up. So, I think for me, firstly, I will say my good has to be Southampton, because I feel like they are very underrated. They're going about their business. They're getting wins. Plus, they got a big win over Newcastle without Danny Ings, which was impressive. I found that really cool of them. The bad, I'm not going to go with the Arsenal result, but I'm going to go with the Everton against Manchester United result, and not focus on Manchester United per se, but focus on Everton. So Everton in their last 5 games, they've only won one game, and they've lost their last 3. And I say bad because you're starting to show that you were just a pretender the whole time. There's nothing really special about you. There's nothing really special about you or whatever. So all that talk about being top and this, look, I know they've had injuries. I know there's some players who've been suspended, but still, I was just expecting more from them, and especially a wounded Manchester United side that lost to Istanbul Başakşehir. I thought that they'll be able to do something else. Then my ugly is not the Leeds result, is not the Arsenal result, but it's in the West Ham versus Fulham game. So anybody who watched this game, it was a game that you thought this was going to be 0-0, and West Ham score with minutes to go. And when I say minutes, probably about 3-4 minutes to go. Fulham get a penalty to equalize. And after they get the penalty, this is the last kick of the game. Ademola Lookman is the ugly for me, and how he took that penalty. He tried a Penenka and he scuffed it, and Fulham lost 3 points or lost a point. And that for me is my ugly, because I could not believe what I had seen. I just thought, I was like, oh, they got a penalty, it's going to be 1-1. And Fabianski of West Ham just probably thought, I can't believe this is such an easy penalty. And he saved it. And Ademola Lookman, I have no sympathy for him. Absolute ugly, that one.
Yeah, that was ugly. Definitely a good call on that one, Jags. For me, the good, was Chelsea. The way that they dominated after going down 1 goal, coming back, winning convincingly, getting into the top 5. They've gotten, they've won in the last 5 games. They've taken 11 out of 15 points. Starting to gel as a team and starting to look really good. And in the earlier part of the season, going behind 1-0 could have meant a bit of a mental collapse and scraping a draw. So to see them hammer Sheffield United so convincingly was my good. The bad was Leeds. Again, just the expectation that they set 10 points so far in the season, and that's, we've got to not forget that they are a newly promoted side and their goal is to stay up. But that's the second game in a row that they've lost 4-1. And it's the third time in the year that they've conceded 4 goals. So, again, that to me was the bad. The ugly was Arsenal. To play Aston Villa and lose 3-0 at home, that's just ugly on any day. I get what you're saying about that penalty. It was probably the worst penalty kick I've seen in a long time. But Arsenal to lose to Villa 3-0 at home, that was ugly.
Yeah, that was. I definitely agree. That was ugly for sure. But I think for Fulham, in the situation that they're in, and they desperately need any sort of point, even if it's half or quarter of a point, and Ademola Lookman to actually seal it, to get a point at least, he scuffs it like that.
It's interesting in terms of the penalties, though. There was that Vardy getting his second penalty saved, and I don't think he thought it was going to get saved because he was already sort of turned around and the ball came back off him and then missed. And then Kevin De Bruyne also shanking that.
Yeah, that was
one
ugly
against
as well.
Liverpool was pretty ugly. So I mean, when have we had 2 saves and 2 misses and a save in terms of penalties?
Yeah, no, for sure. That was De Bruyne's was pretty ugly.
Yeah.
But anyway, there you have it. We'll catch up again during the week and then have a look at some of the international games. Shakes, thanks very much for your input as always. Ollie, thank you.
Thank you, guys. Cheers, Shakes.